I'm going to look at the banking results. We've seen quite a flurry of them come through recently. Let's start with Diamond Bank. We saw pretty much the same theme, lower revenues, higher profits. What did you make of that result?
Well, it's the major trend we've noticed in the bank lately where there's a challenge as to growing top line numbers. But the bank seems to be working on efficiency and cost ratios, where they are driving their costs down, trying to be more efficient and trying to boost the margins. Well, for Diamond Bank, what we noticed that has been driving the performance is the market share in the retail end of the market that they seems to be focusing on lately. Coming off what has happened in 08 and 09, people are getting, banks are really scared, quote and unquote, of going into the retail market because of the high risk that you can get from the market. But Diamond Bank seems to have gotten the people, the process, and the risk management framework in place to be able to tackle the market. And ever since the beginning of 2010, from Q1 to Q2, now to the end of Q3, they seems to be gaining more market share. And when you look at the product they are selling, ranging from credit cards to consumer loans, you find out that the margins on such products are way higher than a bank that is focusing on lending to the large corporates.
So you focus on higher margin.
Yeah, so they are focusing on higher margin product to the retail end of the market, and that seems to be working for them.
What about Access Bank? How did you see those results?
Well, Access Bank too, same story. They are also finding out it's just a general story. Growing top line has been a difficult one, and for this season. But for Access Bank, I think they are very strong on the treasury side. They seems to also be able to come up with products that can make them to trade profitably on the treasury side. And Access Bank, we are also bullish on the back of, we have known them strictly. They've been a bank that has been very ambitious, trying to get a dominant space in the banking sector. And we believe with this window that the CBN has opened, it's likely that they might want to grow the balance sheet either inorganically, maybe by M&A, or by just taking one of the rescued banks. So we believe by the time they leverage on all this and with this trend that they have in the treasury, in as much as they don't wish to even grow their loan books because of the risk. But if they are strong on the treasury and the yields are also looking up from July, the net interest margin has been going up from July to August, now to September. And also same even for the treasury. If you look at the 20-year yield now, it's doing like 14%, which is very fantastic. So in as much as they have the balance sheet to support what they're doing on the treasury side, we're also very optimistic that they will continue to do well.
And FCMB, how did you see those numbers?
Well, FCMB, cool. FCMB too is looking strong, but we will still wait to see. One key challenge for us as regards FCMB is about, we don't know yet if they want to go mono, I mean just to focus on the commercial banking, but we know they are very strong because by the time you dissect the earnings, you find out that they are capital market subsidiaries. The corporate finance subsidiary, the capital market subsidiaries are also very strong, and they contribute something substantial to the bottom line. So we are not sure as to if they want to go mono, saying we just want to do our commercial banking, or if they want to go the holding structure. So until we get a clear sense as to that strategy, we won't be able to say exactly where we see them going. But there will be a major risk if they're going to divest from all the subsidiaries, which seems to be also driving a major percentage of their bottom line.
Yeah, interestingly, we'll wait to hear from them. What about EcoBank? I think the Pan-African Bank.
Wow.
I mean, they released ETI's numbers.
ETI's and EcoBank, yeah.
Let's touch on those two.
It's just a case of chicken and the egg. EcoBank contributes like 45% of ETI. So anything that you see happening in EcoBank is probably going to cascade down into the performance of ETI. Yeah, for ETI has managed to even grow both the bottom line. I think as at the end of Q3 now they're doing like 12 billion profits, which is quite good, coming off from where they were last year. But for EcoBank as an entity, which is a subsidiary of ETI, we found out that
EcoBank
Nigeria, yeah. We found out that as at the end of Q2, they were doing a profit of like 2.5 billion. And now coming to Q3, they were able to do maybe the gross earnings grew from like 25 billion to 36 billion, but at the same time, the profit went down. So if you look at the cumulative period of January to September, then that means that between the third quarter if you look at it net, you find out that they've actually made loss. So that calls for question, in as much as we believe that most banks have taken provision. I mean, they've taken all the provisions in 09. We will also still seek to understand. We've not had a chance to speak to the management, but we believe that there is something that's not right, because that's just like something different from all the other peers or the contemporaries in the banking sector.
Right, and sorry, we just have to wrap up, but very quickly, one thing I've seen clearly is cost. Cost seems to be very high for these banks. Which bank, from what you've seen so far, seems to be getting it right there?
Well, I would say for Zenith Bank, looking at what they've done for Q3, they've been able to drive their cost-to-income ratios down consistently from Q1 to Q2 to Q3. Also, EcoBank that we're talking of, funny enough, they are also trying to drive down the cost. I think that's part of the things that is responsible for this performance that we've seen. Just like last 2 weeks, they're going to cut their staff cost. They are going to, I think they're restructuring, laying off like 400 staff. Off. So most of the banks also understand that cost is a major issue that they have to deal with, and all of them are working on that part.